The Met Office issued severe thunderstorm warnings today for the northwest and central Bahamas. The inclement weather involved showers and thunderstorms that caused strong gusty winds, heavy downpours, and flash flooding. That's what residents on the island of Exuma experienced this weekend as they escaped the floodwaters closing in on them. The severe weather was enough to cause the nation's leader to pause his trip in the region to travel to Exuma. Carla Palmer has tonight's top story.
Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis led his delegation from Forest Hill in the west to Rollville in the north into Williamstown in the east, stopping at some settlements in between, assessing the impacted areas caused by the persistent rain, resulting in serious flooding on the island of Exuma.
What we recognize here again is a consequence of climate change. And here is evidence of why it is important for us to ensure that the world appreciates what the consequences of climate change does to countries such as ours. We understand our vulnerabilities and we are addressing it. But the cost of addressing for adaptation is enormous, and we cannot do it alone, and the resources that we have just is incapable of causing us to adapt in a way to respond to the consequences of such catastrophic events as the torrential rain that you've seen here today.
Prime Minister Davis cutting his trip short as CARICOM chair in Jamaica to attend to his domestic affairs here at home.
I am pleased that we have had no loss of life. You see loss and damage to property and materials, which could be replaced. But at the same time, the disruption and dislocation is causing, and the remediation that we have to engage in and the relief that we bring to our people is costly.
Here in Exuma, residents are in need of help, and reportedly help is on the way. His Majesty's Royal Navy HMBS Lawrence Major has been dispatched from New Providence here to Exuma with supplies on board to assist in speedily rectifying this flooding problem.
I've never seen it this bad. And in 2 to 3 hours, the water had came in the yard. And by the time we saw it, there's nothing the only thing we could do was evacuate.
A 7-year resident of the island, Kavika Kelly Griffin, says she and her husband had to swim from their residence to escape the rising flood waters. While her Rollville neighbor, Antonia Knowles, says her car, that has since been towed, was submerged in the flood waters.
The thing we could have done is grab something to put on, make way, grab our important documents, put them in a plastic bag, and then swim across to higher ground.
I have work. Work still has to go on, so that's definitely impacting me a lot, and that's my only chance. And because I'm new here, I don't know anyone here, that's my only way of getting around.
According to local officials here in Farmers Hill, Exuma, this entire area here was underwater until that dam was built to rectify the problem.
Yesterday when we were here, this was flooded and fishes were swimming in the road.
Island Administrator Donald Roll says that problem has since been resolved. The beach is no longer underwater and the road at Queens Highway, hours earlier impassable, now open.
What happened is that we have some ponds from the forest come straight down to Farmers Hill and are interconnected together. So what we are looking at is that what happened, the water wasn't going out to sea. So what we had to do is break the dam by removing those sands so the water can flow freely into the sea.
Minister of Education, the Honorable Glenys Hannah Martin, and Public Works and Utilities Minister, the Honorable Alfred Sayers, both along on the assessment tour that was to include Cat Island, as similar conditions were also reported there.
Fortunately, over the last 6-7 years, we've been digging. We've had a lot of wells dug, and the water subsided. We were on our way there now, but unfortunately, the weather does not permit us to go there.
The rain has reportedly been non-stop since Tuesday. That's 6 whole days, with as much as 10 inches falling in a single day. And forecasters say it will continue through late evening Tuesday this week. In Georgetown, Exuma, I'm Carla Palmer for the Bahamas Tonight.